me show you my little face here tonight. So now I want to introduce this government contracting conversation, the getting government contracting ready. And I've always talked about, and I've told you, having government contracts is one of the other ways that you can grow your business. Okay. And that's what we want to talk about. And it's not limited to certain things. You may think that government contracting is not for your business, but I tell you it is, because there are so many options and there's so many products that the government purchase, and we don't have enough time tonight to go over them. But if you are so interested in this conversation, I would definitely bring it back. And so now tonight I'm going to talk about government contract ready. I renewed mine this weekend. So what I did is, I went over and I took some notes, and I said, I want to give the people the information because I want you to know what you need to do to be found, to be ready to get a government contract. Okay. So it's not hard for you as a business owner, to apply, but if you definitely need me to help you apply, I will be so delighted to help you in that process. So I just want you to know that. And so here tonight we're going to go over, and if you don't have time to, I wish you would take notes on this, because I really want you to know and understand your opportunity in this. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to remove this, and you're going to see my face. Hello. All right. Now let's begin having this conversation about government contracting. Government contracting. Now, first things first with government contracting, you have to set yourself up for the opportunity. And what do I mean by that? You have to have your business fully set up, fully structured, because there's going to be some questions that's going to be asked of you, and you're going to have to answer them through your initial process. Now, you don't have to go out and hire a company for this. You don't even have to get me. You don't have to hire me. But if you think it's going to be a little difficult task, I am here. You can schedule an appointment with me and get grant contracting ready. And then also, what I did discover when I was renewing my application this weekend, I discovered that they have a additional component to it. So I'll tell you about that. If you listen and you stay to the end of this video, I'll tell you about that particular other option that you would have, and it's good for you. It's in your favor as a business. And so I definitely think that it's going to be advantageous for you. So I took some notes, and I kind of made sure that I wrote some things down. So that way I wanted to tell you basically how you can go through the process of getting funding for your upcoming business, and not only getting funding, but getting a contract so where you can have more revenue coming into your business. But like I said, you have to be prepared. You have to have already had your business structure, like your LLC, your DUNS number. Not your DUNS number. You have to have a cage number for your government contract. And they used to use DUNS number, but they got away from that, I think about 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago. And so anyway, that's a little process, but it's really not a much of a basic, it's not a bad thing. But you just definitely have to register before you can even apply to get on the list as a government contractor. And yes, you're going to get mail. They're going to send you information about what do you need to do in order to, they're going to send you mail, and they're going to say, well, do you qualify for these particular grants? And I mean, not grants, contracts, and whatever your NAICS code is. And we'll talk about that in a few. Whatever your NAICS code is, that is what they'll be sending you bids on. And you can bid on them. If not, there's a lot of reading involved. And I do work with, helping my clients to do that. And so in the 90-day intensive, when we get ready to have that, we're going to touch on some of these things too. But you don't, like I said, you don't only have to get the information through that particular avenue. Not trying to push you in the 90-day intensive and you feel like you don't need that entire process. And so I want you to I want you to know that you can do it. All right. Okay. So now let me go over some things that I have got my notes written down for you. So we're going to go over this. And if you need to look at this video and you need to watch this video. Thank you. If you need to watch this video again, I would suggest that you do. Okay. For as long as I keep it up, because I may not keep it up too long. Who knows? So I just want you, don't be a procrastinator out here in this state and time in life. We can't be procrastinators, people. Do not procrastinate. No, 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 no. No, 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 no procrastinating. Right. Okay. Now back to because I definitely want to keep you reminded of this. I definitely want you to stay reminded of the being government contract ready. Being ready. Okay, the first thing is build your business the right way, the foundation. And I just mentioned, I went over the foundation with you. I just talked about the foundation, the registration of the going to sam.gov. Sam.gov, that's where you have to go to register. And it is government and it is a compliance that you have to go through. I didn't make the rules up. Look, the SBA didn't make the rules up. The government made the rules up for the SAM.gov. Okay, that's who made these rules up, and this because it's compliance, 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 compliance. That's why. And so now let's talk about what you need to do to be in compliance with SAM.gov and get yourself on the list of getting and being able to bid for any grant that you want to, because you've already done the back end. So let's remember with the grant, with the contracts, there is a such thing as completing the back end. You got to have your foundation, your business foundation together, number one. Number two, you got to be registered in SAMS.gov. And I'm going to go over some things that you need to just already have ready, when you're getting ready to do it. And I did mention too, if you need my help and you think that it's overwhelming for you, I'm here for the help. I'm here so you can schedule an appointment with me. I do sometimes with me and my clients, we'll sit on a Zoom and we'll go through the process, and they have everything with them, and I take them through it because I'm constantly doing it anyway, so I know exactly what they need, and we'll go over things with them. Like if I'm helping them one-on-one. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about the okay, you got to first, like I said, you got to register your entity. You got to have a unique entity identification number, and you have to register that. That has to be registered first. But there's going to be a lot of questions that they're going to ask you. And it's not overwhelming. It's just that they're going to have to know your business name. They're going to have to need to know your EIN number. They're going to have to need to know your business address and the potential financials of your business as well. And there's going to be all sorts of questions, your taxpayer information. Let's say, for instance, if you're not new to business, you've been in business for a while, people, you have to have your tax documents, those past tax your tax papers from that, your tax documents from the IRS, because what they do is they reach out to the IRS through your EIN number. And of course, you need your for personal identification, all of that. That's a part of the process. You're going to need your taxpayers information. You're going to need your business type information. You're going to you would have to have established an entity relationship, meaning that number that I mentioned to you earlier, your unique entity ID. And it's about, let me see how many characters it is. It's about 12 characters that they give you. So they will send those information once they assign them to you. They email them to you. Definitely have to have your email address, and they need to know your contact information. They need to know, are you the sole owner of the business? Do you have a partner? All of this information they are going to verify. So you kind of need to be prepared to be able to upload some documentation for this to happen for you. Okay, and now the next thing, you're going to, like I said, your financial information, your whatever business you have, like your NAICS code, your goods and services. What do you sell? If you are previous business that has been in business for a while, they want to know, what have you made over the years? Have you had any negative, do your business owe any taxes? Have you had any negativity towards your business? Do you have a criminal background? Have you done this, that, or the other? Okay, and so the point of contact for the business, if it's not you, then who is it? And these things need to be already established. You already need to know. You don't need to be trying to scramble to figure this out. This is a part of what I mean and what I say when I say is you have to be structured and you need to be foundationally ready. This is what it's talking about. Okay. Okay. And so we'll recap a little while, but I definitely want to just give you those basic things. And so you got to provide your financial structure. You got to provide your operational structure. You need to provide whether you're manufacturing goods or services or however the case may be, however you are. And then if you have a website, you must provide that information as well. You got to provide a lot of things to the government if you're going to do business with them. And it's just that formality. And I don't think it's a thing that you need to be negatively concerned about. I just believe that this is just the way they have to do their checks and balances too, because this is government funding and all of this has to be accounted for. So they give you, this is why they ask these things of you. Now, okay, your institution site. I'm sorry, your institution type of your business. Let's say, for instance, if your business is at a domestic shelter institute, it can be a foundation, hospital, or whatever it is. They need to know that. Okay, the government needs to know that, and this is the initial part of when you are getting registered for SAMS.gov. This is not including to when you can be able to bid. That's another conversation for another day, but you have to get this done. And it's not bad. It's not a hard thing to do. Like I said, if you need my services in helping you get this set up and getting you approved so where you can be awarded some government contracts, let me know and we schedule just reach out to me and we'll schedule an appointment to get it done. Okay. It's not a problem. I'm here for you. I'm here. Okay. Now, the next thing is the social economic categories. This is like a part of, are you a woman-owned business or you a small business, joint venture, veterans-owned business, those kind of things. They ask you different questions about that. You need to answer those. And some of these are not, some of them may be optional. Some of them are optional for you to answer. And some of them they need to know an answer to before you can go further throughout the application. Okay. Now, let's see. And then I did tell you about they want to know who's the owner. And I also, oh yes, and then also you need to have this set up as well. Your business bank account definitely need to have already been established, because guess what they're going to do? They're going to ask you how, whenever you are awarded a contract, See, all of that needs to be in their database before they even give you an award. You need to, how are they going to pay you? You need your routing number for your account number, your financial institution that you're going to use. You need the contact information. You know what is going to, what account type is it? All of these things is going to be required of you to answer when you are setting up and getting prepared to be able to be awarded a government contract. So they need to know all of this information. So you have to have your stuff together. You have to have this together, people. You do. You have to have it together. And so they also want to know in the initial application part of it, they want to know, like I said, your tax liability. Do you owe any taxes? If you don't, they definitely want to be able to check with the IRS to see, do you owe any back taxes or anything of that sort? So, if you're in good standing with the IRS, they would definitely want to know all of that as well. They want to know if you have any list of offenses in the past. I think it's within the past 2 or 3 years. I think that's what it is. And so they want to know if you have that, that's what your personal record, like any tax evasion, making false statements, violation, federal crime, tax laws. Is there any embezzlement, anything that you were involved in of that sort of thing? So those are things that you have to answer to as well. And what area do you choose to get contracting information from or contract offers from? They want to know that as well. So you need to decide that, is it going to be all states? Is it going to be one state? Is it going to be multiple states? And then you can check off the ones that you want. So that is going to be a question that you need to answer to. And what security levels, or do you have any additional security levels that you can get contracts with the DOJ or Department of Defense or the DOD? So all of that is, and if you do, you need to upload those certifications and all of that need to be uploaded into the system, and they will verify and check that. And I think it doesn't really take you that long to get approved to be able to apply for government contracts. It doesn't. It's just the paperwork may seem tedious because you may not have done it before. It's your first time doing it. Oh, thank you. And so that is a lot of the the rationale behind a lot of that. Okay. All righty. Now the next thing is going to be, your question is going to be possibly your, like I did mention, your representative of your company, things of that sort. And then who is going to be able to determine the pricing determination of, like, when you bid on a product, you may have somebody else that you're working with. So they want to know who's all involved, if it's just you or if it's a team of people that's going to be able to do the contract, get the bidding together and work on doing the proposal, the request of proposal, getting that done and getting that filled out, or do you have somebody else? Because a lot of companies have other people doing that portion, and that's why that question is there. So, and sometimes it's not only a one-man show when you're getting government contracts. A lot of times it's the whole entire company, and then you have certain people that's assigned to certain tasks. And so that's why they ask you that question too as well. So it's just not, like I said, sometimes if things doesn't apply to you, hey, don't worry about it. It's just not applying to you in your portion of the application. So don't think that everything is going to have to be pertained to you, but you definitely don't want to not answer any questions. You can say yes, no, because they always have a yes or no slot to answer the question. Yes, no, no, yes, yes, no. So that is that. Okay. Now, the next thing. We're talking about government contracting, guys, getting set up and getting prepared to be able to get the opportunity to be able to get a government contract. And you have to fill out everything. Get your financials together. If you are new in business and you have not done contracting as of the time when you applied, or you haven't really made any money in your business, just put your just put down your put you just answer the question truthfully, and just tell them, these are your projected, if they ask that, I think they give you an option to kind of elaborate on it. Just let them know that this is your projected um forecast. That's what you can do. So, all right. So anyway, any questions over here or over anywhere while before I go? Because I think that was pretty much it for tonight. Any questions before I go for being government contract ready? And I talked about the positioning, the completion, find the quality, and win the opportunities to perform the performance. More about maybe the I would say 4 and 5. We'll talk about that in the next video, because I didn't go too much in depth about that, how to win those government contracts. And so you definitely we'll talk about some things that's very important for that process as well. We'll do that next time I come on a video and shall talk to you. So, are there any questions from anybody? No questions tonight. I am here for the take. Here for the asking. You're not here for the taking. I'm not. You can't take me nowhere. Let me see. Is there anything else that I'm leaving out that I need to mention to you before we go? Because I think that this is a great opportunity to. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to see, is there any more? Anything else? Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, like I said, let me discuss this with you. The portion when you are working on your initial information, what all they would need from you is going to need your legal name, the business legal name, and they're going to need a business email. They're going to need the telephone number, secondary number. They're going to need things that like that from you. You're going to have to give them as much information as they ask you, to give. And remember your unique identity identification information. That is going to be the first thing. And that when you going through that screening process with that, what that does is it's getting you familiar to be in their system, and they're going to assign you their number or their ID number. It used to be you could use your DUNS number. Remember I mentioned that to you? They've changed that within the last 2 years or so. Can't do that anymore. They come up with their own system. And yes, I've heard a lot of people saying that, they reach out to them, they can't get anybody on the phone. It's such a difficult process, even getting that. Sometimes maybe it's gotten better by now. I didn't really have that. Only thing I had to do is I had to, because see, my business is an entity operating on its own. But what I had to do was I had to type up a letter. Thank you. I had to type up a letter and get it notarized saying that I was the administrator of the business. So, like I said, your business is this entity of its own. It's not operating as you when you're working, you're doing that. So, I had to give that, and then they didn't approve mine until I got that done. So, that's something. If you may not set it up that way, but sometimes it's best to just set it up that way, and you're different. Your business is its own entity, and you will be the administrative, you'll be the one making the decisions, so you can separate the two, and your business can be operating on its own when it's dealing with the government, but you'll be the one to be able to sign off on anything. That's not an issue, because they'll give you, you fill out the paperwork. I mean, just write the letter and get it notarized and upload it into the system, and boom, 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 boom. That's a part of the process. Take it from me. I had to do it for myself. Okay. And so that's what you would have to do there. And we'll talk about on the next video, we're going to talk more about what I give you some of the things that, if your business, give you some idea of what you can do or what you can get government contracting for. Like what kind of whatever business you have, you'll be amazed at what the government will buy from you. Okay. So that's what I want to talk to you about. Okay. We'll talk about that not tomorrow, Wednesday, but we'll more than likely talk about it tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow is Tuesday. All right. Okay, I hope you guys have a restful evening, a beautiful night or day. Good morning, wherever you are located in this world. I hope you have a good one. All righty, so be safe, be nice to people, love on yourself, and think positive. And remember, you were created for greatness. You have greatness within you. Don't let anyone tell you that you're less than what God has created you to be. Because guess what? They're all lies. They don't know what you are because they don't know what they are. Don't listen to them. Be positive. Continue to pray for one another and uplift one another. And I know sometimes it's hard. It's hard to deal with the people in this world, but guess what? Do like I do. You can't love them, leave them alone. Can't love them, just let them be. Yeah, but love them. Love them at a distance. And I'm just saying, I'm just being facetious right now. But I know everybody ain't for everybody. I have zero tolerance for foolishness. That's just me. That's just the way God made me. So however God made you, just act accordingly. That's all I'm saying. All righty. Love you. Talk to you guys later. And have a wonderful, wonderful, like I said, whatever time of day it is when you hear this video. All righty. Be good. Okay. Bye-bye. Night-night. See y'all later. My sinus is trying to kick in. They better not. To get on my vitamin C heavily because the season getting ready to change. All right. You have a good one. Bye-bye.